We go into game number 1. Fresh new series. In the top left-hand side, it is our red Terran player, INnoVation. Up against the blue Zerg in the bottom right-hand side, we do have soO. Game 1 of this best of 3. INnoVation soO is always a pleasure to watch. It's always a lot of fun, and I hope it. I just hope this series absolutely delivers as well, which we expect it to, of course. Welcome to the stream if you just joined us, and this one likely to go up on YouTube, so I will just say hello and welcome. And if you're on YouTube, thanks so much for all the support lately. I have not been doing as many YouTube exclusive casts as I'd like to be. So take this as my chance to say hi, and thanks for watching, and hope you're enjoying, and let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button so we can rule the YouTube algorithm and take over the YouTube StarCraft world. At which point you may as well subscribe as well. See, I've got YouTube on lockdown, guys. There's no point even hiding it. You just gotta admit, like, look, guys, I need you to follow me. I need you to like and subscribe because it will help me beat the algorithm. It's not about your videos, right? Like, it's not about, like, oh, guys, you know, you're going to enjoy the video. Make sure you like... It's now about, like, do you want to see man beat machine? Did AlphaStar beat up too many pros? Do you want to see man get revenge? Like this video today, and you can help Wardy beat the algorithm. And then it's just like, I mean, that's how you get people hooked. Then people go back on all of your old YouTube videos and like, we got to help the man beat the machine. They're gonna like every single video I've ever made. They're gonna go back and watch it. Like, it's gonna be great. I'm telling you, I've got it on lockdown. I've got YouTube figured out. As this early game is an SCV scout into the Reaper, the absolute lack of a pool first means that there's nothing too dangerous here, so the Reaper can continue to come across the map, as it is going to be hopping up and towards the natural to see what's going on. A little bit of a grenade pops one of the drones away, delays a slight amount of mining, nothing too major at all, and again just going to be seeing Reaper and Ling is having a fight. As our Zergling speed coming up from soO. What a perfect map this is to play on Valentine's Day. It's quite a Valentine's Day map, huh? Romanticide. Doesn't romanticide mean something, though? Romanticide. Nightwish lyrics? I mean, I knew that. Does romanticide not have, like, a definition? No? Aye. I remember the Nightwish song, though. I mean, it has romantic in the name, right? We'll just pretend romanticide is the all-new... It's the all-new Zerg fall in love with anyone product. Do you want to get rid of that pesky Zerg? Spray romanticide on it, and that Zerg will be your best friend. No longer will they link flood your natural expansion. No longer will they bane bust your mineral lines. They'll be bane busting somewhere else. Get your romanticide today. Maybe? Good product placement? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. As we do see the couple of Hellions and a Reaper coming around up the top side, and a Banshee on the way up from INnoVation as well. Playing pretty safe here as he goes into very early 3cc. It's exactly how he played against Rogue the other day, if I'm not mistaken, where he just plays early 3cc. He gets into a Banshee to help him stay defensive and safe in the early stages of the game as well. And from that point onwards, you can just play Stim, you can play Bio, and that's going to be how he plays this. I mean, he has been playing a lot of Bio lately. INnoVation definitely seems to be coming into form as of late. You know, he struggled a little bit during IEM qualifiers and he stepped it up a gear, and it really feels as we get close towards TvZ, he's kind of like turning on, you know, the machine's booting up. It's getting past its slow kind of boot, and you know, it's going to be running full speed and optimal, ready for TvZ to make a big deep run, perhaps. You'll have to go through the open bracket, unfortunately, but, you know, for INnoVation in full machine mode, I'm sure that's absolutely no problem. And that's dropping down from soO over in the natural expansion. Still not too much to mention in terms of overall build. soO very much so knows it's Bio. He even sees the engineering base here just in case you didn't know. I mean, it's just the timings, etc. It all leads to it being Bio. So he knows it's Bio. It is Bio. The one thing to mention is it's a very fast lair into a very fast spire, right? So it is not just your kind of, oh my god, Evo Chambers 1-1. This is get the spire up very early, get the Mutalisks very early, and it will be Ling Bane meter, but there's, you know, two different ways to play Ling Bane meter. One of them you get meters at like 8 minutes, and it's like you get 1-1 first, you're going to have good upgrades. You're playing a little bit more Ling Bane heavy, lots of counters. The other way is to do this. Get the Mutalisks up early, use those from the early stage of the game. Your upgrades will be a bit later, so you've got to try and deal some damage with the Mutalisks to make up for that. And that's kind of what we're starting to see here in this game. So hoping that these Mutas can get some damage helps a lot against some of the early pushes as well, where there's maybe like a siege tank in an awkward spot. The Mutas can help to overwhelm, shut down the medevacs early and quickly in a fight. All those kind of things. As we do just see a Hellion being pushed away and picked off. Queen's able to shut that down. As obviously, as far as soO's concerned, pushing those Hellions away gives him the freedom to put a bit more creep down. Now, I have been talking lately about how Zergs have, or how Terrans have been kind of ignoring the Zerg creep spread a little bit, and it is true. They've been kind of just letting it spread a little bit more than they usually would. Here's the Reaper and the Hellions coming back across now, and they will find a couple of creep tumors spreading out. He's been very careful with these creep tumors initially. There's a grenade, won't get the kill. He will Hellion attack the Reaper to get the kill in the end. Nice little bit of splash damage. Nice little move. Done very smoothly, in fact. That was kind of a stylistic way to do it. Reaper moved. Hellion was attacking perfectly. Reaper pulled back. Queen's here to replace that creep, but still it's energy that you didn't really want to necessarily spend there. As you do see the Marines coming across, they actually intercept the Mutalisks initially as INnoVation gets a push all the way down this left-hand side. A few Mutalisks, there's what, about 7 of these moving up in toward the third base, so they're going to be pushing in already. A couple of SCVs starting to take some damage. The Marines stemming up, and Mutas will be pushed straight up into the main. I mean, now INnoVation will start to pick away some of these creep spreads, so pushing around the left-hand side, and with the Hellions still alive, you can obviously use these in the fight. Yeah, by keeping the Hellions back initially, you obviously make sure they're going to be around for this, you know, next fight, which is, again, what a lot of Terrans seem to want to use them for lately, rather than having them on the map, looking for some damage, looking for the creep tumor kills. They're like, yeah, I'd actually rather just buff up my, you know, Marine tank push, because then it's so much more scary for you to deal with. You're absolutely going to need a really decent amount of banelings, otherwise you're going to be in some trouble. Mutalisks from soO out into the middle of the map. Marines, tanks, Hellbats coming out around into the center. You see the Ling Bane Muta coming through, and, well, I mean, INnoVation is not really sieged up here initially, so it's kind of an interesting fight. The Bane's all going towards those tanks, though, which in the end I don't think is so great for soO. Yeah, he shuts down the siege tanks. He has a couple extra Banes finishing. I guess he'll be all right. For the moment, INnoVation is going to be held back, is not going to be able to find a way forwards. You see a Thor on the way up, a couple extra Liberators on the way up. 2-2 upgrades coming into play, and INnoVation just continuing back up to the top side. Mutalisks come in. Now starting to pick away at a few of these supply depots. A couple of them already going down. INnoVation, again, pushing that right-hand side, keeping the Mutalisks away to the side, stopping them from coming too far forwards. 22 more Zerglings on the way out from soO. A couple extra Libs in the way. Yeah, I mean, a lot of build-up here. +2 melee, +2 carapace gets going. A flyer attack upgrade also coming into play still. Infestation pit drops down from soO also as our Marines intercept the Mutalisks. Already one of them down. This one's going to come all the way up this left-hand side. Is just about going to pick off this refinery. So refinery will be killed off here. So it will go down as well as this group of Mutalisks makes its way down the left. Marines really trying to give chase to this. Gets a couple extra shots off. Mutas again, just in the end, back and away. Flying back out into the center as we see our Zerglings from soO going to come into the middle of the map. Going to immediately start picking away at these rocks. Just opening the map up a little bit. Wants to make it easier to set up certain attack pathways. Wants to make it easier to flank in on the Terran player who's already taken their 4th base. So INnoVation getting a 4th base up, and we're really just inviting ourselves into the later stages of the game. soO even saying, yeah, let's go in towards the hive. Time to start thinking about getting that, you know, 3-3 set of upgrades rolling. INnoVation, again, is, I feel, not immediately ready to deal with this, but because all the Banes are coming in from one side, he's dealing with them pretty well. The Lings from the left finally helping out a bit more, and soO is actually just going to collapse in on everything. And INnoVation, well, that's the sort of fight that might lead to him losing his first map of this entire tournament, almost out of nowhere. I mean, INnoVation again is just kind of sitting around on the edge of creep, not really too aware of where the Zerg army is. He's late to siege. His units get jumped on, and I mean, here you are. Mutalisks come through. The tank gets taken down. On the bottom side, these Lings surrounding this planetary fortress. On the bottom side, I mean, there's a couple of Liberators still chasing away the Overseer and the Mutalisks. As you do see the rest of the Zerglings being picked away at. Mutas still being chased away as well. A few extra Marines coming down here to try push back the last few of these units. Liberators firing a couple more times, and we do have a Thor on the way out as well, but losing the fourth base is a bit too much, and soO will take the first map against INnoVation, who, for the first time in this tournament, is going to find himself down in the... And if you're not following, well, it's your fault if you miss it, basically. So hit that follow button, see when we're live a little bit more often. We do go live pretty much every single day. StarCraft 2. As in the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player from a Freak of Freaks. This is soO. Taking on the blue Terran in the bottom right-hand side. Down a map. First map he's lost in the entire event. INnoVation. As we get going into game number 2. We've seen the Overlord from soO making its way across. This map does have inhibitor zones, so it does slow down certain attack paths, etc. Inhibitor zones around here stop some of the close-by air aggression being as viable. And it stops some of the elevator play in this position here as well. So a few different bits and pieces to be aware of, basically, in these early stages. As I'm going to sneeze. Oh, you know when you're going to sneeze and you're just like, it's coming, it's coming, and then you hit the mute button in time, it's like, yes, nailed it. Nailed it. As the Reaper of INnoVation starting up in the main base, SCV starts to move out across the map, and the Overlord continues over towards the natural expansion as well. Reaper just about halfway done for Minnow, going to come across. SCV going to build a depot as well. You can see the command center dropping down in the natural as the... Oh, this is cute. soO going to take the gold base on the wrong side. So this is a map with gold bases, and there has been some discussion. People saying they'd rather see the gold base be up here and down here, maybe. Because this base here, you generally go 1, 2, 3, and it's just a natural fourth base. Like, yeah, you can hit from the other side, but it's kind of a split map anyways, so it's just kind of you get a fourth base gold. Well, there's not going to be a fourth base gold for INnoVation if soO is going to be able to break through this, right? Like, if he's just going to mine out all of these minerals early anyways, and INnoVation just might not know about it. And the thing is for INnoVation as well, he's going to be looking around and he's going to be like, well, why is there no third base? So while soO's probably set up into a really strong economy, INnoVation might be being a little bit overly cautious, thinking, well, what on earth are you doing? And it does go for a 3cc build again, though, so he's not being too worried just yet. Factory will go to the reactor shortly, and we'll see the starport building up. I mean, that's what INnoVation builds the Banshee for anyways, right? He sets up into that Banshee for the sole purpose of making sure he's safe against a lot of the early pressure that can come his way, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here once again. This is a very small map. It's a rush map. But it's small while also being very easy to macro on, because the rush distance is short, but you expand away from each other for pretty much the entire game. So the map never gets any shorter than it already is, basically. And to kind of hit some of the abusive positions, like to deny this goal base, you've got to go across map. So it actually works very well in that sort of regard, where yes, it's kind of a smaller map, but it doesn't get any smaller, so it actually kind of allows for longer games too. I kind of like it. They both feel very safe here. Why does it look like it's such a big map? Because, like, I mean, it kind of is a big map when you consider, like, all the bases up here. And this rush distance is definitely not the longest rush distance in the map pool, right? It's like, it's literally 2 screens. Rush distance. So it's definitely a shorter rush distance. But if it's a shorter rush distance that never gets longer, like I say, it's like, it's still going to be like, usually if you take a third base, your third to third base timing becomes shorter than your natural to natural. On this map, the third to third base is actually longer. So yeah, it's kind of, it's an interesting one. Like, it's the way it's laid out that makes it kind of work very well. I wasn't so sure about this map at first, but the more I look at it, the more I think about it, the more I like how it works as a map. And it's very cool. As we do see a Banshee making its way in toward the main base. And it's going to go for a couple of drone kills. So remember, this is not a cloak Banshee. This is just cloakless, trying to pick up some early damage. And he gets 3 kills as he goes down. INnoVation now knows he's not under any threat, so he just gives that Banshee up again, get a few kills. Because he's been very passive otherwise in the game. I mean, INnoVation's issue is that he's seen this base coming up, and he just has zero reason to assume that soO is mining off the gold base. Like, soO is literally just sat here, mining INnoVation's gold. Like, hello? INnovation really falling behind because of this, right? I mean, look at the income graph. It's usually a little bit Zerg favorable. As the game settles down a little bit now, obviously soO early, a little bit kind of off because he can only build drones off the main and natural. And then, you know, the drones off the third base after, you know, the ones that finally start mining the gold. And see that income boost really now starting to, you know, really starting to kick into play. Zerglin goes in. We're going to be seeing the Overseer hanging around. The space is well on its way to mining out the minerals as well on some of these patches. Like, you know, considering it's gold base as well, you lose 6 at a time or so. It's already down, or 7 at a time, sorry. It's already down to, you know, being mined out here. And you know what the thing is as well? When this gold base gets mined out, it opens up this top pathway for counterattacks into the third base. So it's like a double loss for INnovation. Not only has he lost the chance to get his gold, not only has soO taken a better economy than he thinks early in the game, he then also has an extra pathway into his base that he's going to have to worry about. Like, yeah, the Zerg can go up and around. It's just that much shorter, just cut straight across and straight in. Oh, INnovation is really being just... I don't even want to say necessarily mind gamed here so much. He's just not really thinking about the possibility of what soO is doing on the map. And soO's then going to get his own 4th base up, which, as we mentioned, generally comes down in the gold base position. I mean, Inno's finally going to start being aggressive. I actually love that soO didn't start spreading creep, because if you started spreading creep back towards home, which you would oftentimes see on a map like this, INnovation would totally see it. He would have seen it right away. So it's actually a smart move to not do what is usually done in terms of trying to get to a queen there and maybe creeping backwards to get even more creep on the map. Because, oh no, he's going to find it now. He sees the edge of the creep spread. He might not notice that, actually. That's like one of those very little things where you just, if you're not paying attention right then and there, that's actually very sort of easy to kind of skip by in your mind, and he just doesn't quite realize it. Yeah, he's not having a good time. Is soO really going to start kicking off into all this production now? See, that income is still there. I'm actually surprised the income lead wasn't large. Okay, now INnovation sees this creep spread. Now he should really realize. Now that's a major patch of purple on the mini-map. So now he should really realize this as he's picking off some rocks in the center, opening up some pathways himself. I mean, INnovation on 3 bases. He's also not started base number 4. How big of a 2-2 timing does he want to go for here? He does have the third base gases, which generally tells us he wants to take a 4th base and tech up a bit. Or at least tech up a bit. And if you tech up a bit, you generally go to base number 4. And there is the 4th CC. No INnovation. Have you really still not seen it? Oh no, he starts to expand before he actually realizes what's there. Oh, INnovation. I mean, he doesn't even see it in time to actually go and punch the drones. soO pulls the drones away, so he's even able to keep the workers alive. INnovation. What did he think it was? Maybe he just really didn't know it was the creep spread, which seems stupid, but like, it's happened in worse cases before. So keeping the drones alive means that soO didn't even pay a price for having that gold base hidden on the map. INnovation's 4th is going to mine out pretty quickly, guys. He's going to need a 5th base really fast in this game. There's a couple lips set up. This push forwards is scary. 2-2 will be done for Terran before it is for the Zerg. So, INno definitely with some opportunities here. And he will get behind this gold base, which means immediately this base is then very difficult to hold. So in this regard, INnovation pushing the top left-hand side might be able to stop some of soO's further mining in this. And I'll see the hatchery taking some damage, and yeah, no, the thing is he's not really playing any sort of splash damage here. It's just playing pure bio. So he has no way to like siege tanks to kind of hit this hatchery over the ledge or anything, which would of course be very, very good for him. A good way to kind of get something done in this. A couple Hellbats and these Marines already firing away as a few of these creep tumors going down as well. A few Lings coming in, Maraud again surrounded. Here come the Banelings. Again, there's no splash damage. This is pure bio that INnovation is playing. It's a very risky way to play it out, as he's just going to sit and fight here. There's only a couple Banes left. It's going to work for INnovation, who's able to push soO back. What is happening? INnovation's kind of making it work as his fourth base. Man, does anyone else think mules are just ridiculous? Do you see how fast he's mined out this gold mineral line? Can we nerf mules already, guys? God, Terran's so OP. Oh my god, the mules just took a massive shot from the Liberators. We do see the bio continue to come across. Marine's going to be stepping backwards here, splitting away a little bit. Ling Bane still rolling forwards. But again, off of creep, the splits are really, really good. As you do see the Libs still around and still doing a lot to these mutas. Finally, soO is going to break through INnovation, but I will not lie. I really felt soO was going to have way more of an advantage from having mined this gold base early. It's not happened at all just yet as the rest of the Mutalisks continue to come up around to the top side, and this is INnovation who's still making this game work despite soO having taken some cheeky leads in the early stages. And we've seen the Mutalisks push back away over to the left-hand side. Bio coming out around the bottom. A little bit of damage here and there, and we do see Lings and Banes setting up on the high ground here. Liberators setting up, Bio pushing around. A couple Banes already dropping here as Duggan's going down as well, and Marauders pressing forwards as we do see the Libs coming across as well. Bio units still pushing through. Our Group Tumors dropping down. Again, Ling, Bane, Mutalisk out around to the top side. Thor firing away, and again, this Ling Bane kind of forcing this Marine force to kite backwards a little bit here. Libs still up in the skies. The Marines still running, and they get away from a lot of the Banes, but there's still Banelings left, which is the issue. It means eventually these Marines are going to go down. The Liberators against the Mutas is absolutely a kind of style you don't see too often, but it's kind of working out. Like, it is keeping the Mutalisks back with the Thor involved as well. It's just all of that splash damage mix in really hurts. But now Corruptor's on the way, and they're going to start really fighting back against the Liberators. At which point, what do you do then? INnovation gets a fifth base up on the bottom side. It really wants to stop this gold base of soO from mining here, as there's nothing to deny these mutas just yet. If this game goes late, what we have seen on this map is it splits, and one player generally takes the top side base, and one player takes the 6 o'clock base, which is a pretty interesting little trade-off. Pretty unique to this specific map, as this looks as though, well, gold base is very low, it's not gone down yet. INnovation is instead going to change direction to the top left-hand base. He is on 3-3 for a little while longer here, so still has an upgrade lead, but I don't think he has the numbers to realistically take any kind of fight against this Ling Bane Muta force. So pulling back away over the right-hand side, we do see INnovation still backing off. Oh, Liberator's getting a lot of damage on the Mutas before the Corruptors get there to help against the Libs. The Lings still streaming through. The Banes finally getting forwards far enough. I mean, all the Mutas are basically dead. The supplies are still pretty even here. Thor drops down. Banes crash into a Thor. I mean, they get the kill. There is just Corruptors left, so no more Mutalisks on the map bar. This Soul 1. As some Marauders are trying to chase down the Banes. Corruptors being pushed away to the left-hand side. Thor still coming into play from INnoVations to still producing those. I mean, again, he's actually switching up a little bit. He's building a siege tank, and I wonder if that's intentional even, because it's kind of been a weird game to then switch into tanks at like 14 minutes. It's really crazy. I can't believe INnoVation didn't finish off this hatchery. He absolutely could have done. And now soO gets some gold minerals back on track. You see the income graph INnoVation's favor as he pushes some mining away here and there. What's so great about this game is it is just low tech and scrappy, right? It's really pretty awesome as we do see +2 flyer attack on the way. And medevac still making its way up to the top. So a little bit of a drop around. I mean, this base here is pretty unprotected depending on where soO is, but there's so many overlords. soO sees pretty much this entire drop path. I mean, actually doesn't see a little bit of it up here. So he should be paying attention. He should know about this, and corruptors are already on the way to intercept. I just love to see this medevac pull back, drop, yes, stim in. He can kill this hatchery. It's so low. INnoVation is now trying to push the bottom side of the map. He's changing directions. Fire up through the middle. We do see the extra lings coming out. A couple starports in the main base. Initial tank sieging up and firing away, and Marauders pressing forwards. +3 vehicle plating on the armory now, as we do have still the other Marauders coming through here, and with the fusion core and extra starports, it should give INnoVation a whole new kind of meaning of life in this game. Just he is building into more and more tanks. I guess because there's no mutas left, he feels like tanks will work a bit better for him now. Add some splash into this army. Here we go. This is a horrendous fight for soO as he just does not get rid of enough Marines. And INnoVation is left with so many Marines. He just needs to start splitting against the Banes that are still running forwards, but he can also just outrun them if he wants to pull back. He's going to leave the Marauders in the front there. soO realizes his Banes are about to connect on them, pulls those away. And INnoVation takes another great fight. Now, soO has money in the bank to spend. He doesn't have the lava to spend it. He finally, at 16.5 minutes, finds a moment to drop down the Ultralisk Cavern, which is such a late Ultralisk Cavern. It is so late in this game. But alas, what are you meant to do? I mean, you've kind of got to switch up at some point. And getting it earlier was tough because it was such a close game until now. And I mean, it still is. But soO's going to go Ultralisk Cavern here. The thing is, this next attack from INnoVation, if he doesn't just sit back and defend, this next attack from INnoVation could be deadly because soO is, A, still not spending his money because he's still lava-starved. He's waiting for the Ultra Cavern. So he's investing into a lot of things that aren't going to pay off for him just yet. These infestors, for example, aren't going to have fungals right away. So this next fight from INnoVation is going to be a little bit more powered up than the previous ones, just based on the fact that soO's not been building as much. As INnoVation comes straight down the bottom side of the map, he's going to clean out the rocks here to take his own base here. This base is very interesting because if soO doesn't clean out these rocks, he can't run by this base. He can only send corruptors or other air units to it, or maybe something crazy like a drop. INnoVation scan sees this base to push into, and that's going to be his next location to strike. 4 ultras in the production tab, but not here yet. And when they pop, they won't have chitinous right away either. INnoVation might just take down this base. The Marauders doing a lot of damage to it already. Here we go. The Bane's pressing through. INnoVation probably has to cast another stim pack here on the Marines in the back. But I tell you what, these Balins just get absolutely destroyed. And INnoVation once again finds himself winning a fight. At the same time, Ling run by in the natural. Liberator sieging up, a couple Lings up in the main. It's not enough, I don't think, to really cause too much concern here from INnoVation. Going to be seeing more Lings. Still chasing down the Marauder and Marine here. I mean, just trying to get rid of this little run by. Once INnoVation cleans this up, he can focus on another attack again. This is the caustic spray that is pretty much the one big threat of this base down here. INnoVation should just mass repair, lift, and move away to the side. Is the repair in time? It might be, because the Marines are underneath, and the Marines on top of Corruptors is obviously something INnoVation can make work for himself. So as Corruptors and the Ultra, the Lings, and the Banes all backing away again. Some more bio setting up around the bottom side too, as we do have, I mean, a few more Corruptors on the way out, a couple extra Ultras coming into play. Lim's going to start sieging up as our tanks will siege as well. Ling Bane Ultra trying to move through this little space on the bottom. A couple of Ghosts trying to snipe. I mean, is INnoVation just not prepared for Ultralisk? Is soO going to do this? soO shows up, and I mean, immediately this planetary fortress is in trouble. Infestors are about to show up with some fungal growths available. INnoVations is struggling right now. He loses this planetary fortress, and soO is breaking through. Remember, soO had a lot of money in the bank that he just hadn't put to use. But when the Ultras haven't finished, he was able to spend it all at once, and the Ultras showing up have caught INnoVations a little bit off guard, a bit caught up in a game which has been so mid-game focused still. He never really thought... I mean, he had Liberators coming up, etc. It's just, this fight didn't go his way either, and that's an Infestor Fungal. That might just be a nail in the coffin there. A huge chunk of Marines going down, and INnoVations' numbers just aren't high enough anymore. And soO has just about made this work. A crazy game, by the way. Resources lost is great. You can see soO's income was really a fight back and forth as well. Looks like soO will be the only player to defeat INnoVations here. INnoVations with the question mark, soO with the laughing. INnoVations like, how did you win this? Anyone got a translation on this one? Do we need the Wardy translation of, I think this is really ridiculous.